Hello and welcome to a slightly new look simulated Erk train simulator, simulatedgaming.com and Simulated Erk on YouTube. Hi, how you going? Just waving all around, waving my hand around like I just don't care. But this is a good milestone for Simulated Erk and simulatedgaming.com. Got the camera set up, a little bit of trial and error, a little bit of experimentation. But yes, we've got some cam happening here in Erk Tower, and it's been a lot of fun so far getting to this stage. Anywho, on the scenario today, we are going to have a look at something which has been a little bit interesting when it comes down to what Train Simulator can bring to Australia, because let's be frank, there's not a lot. You saw in the introduction a real life passenger train, which I'm familiar with here in Australia, and the closest that you can get to that train on Train Simulator, the high speed train in Train Simulator in the UK compared to the XPT here in the east coast of Australia. What we're going to do now, we're going to do a scenario which would be probably as close as I can get to a two-car diesel railcar, or a two-car diesel multiple unit, to be more precise and more correct, that you would see on some of the networks in and around Australia. For instance, you might see them regional Victoria, regional inner city New South Wales, Adelaide most definitely. And then coming up in a future episode, managed to find some trains from New Zealand of all places that has been created. If the guy, I think he's a Dutch guy, if he can look a little bit towards the west of New Zealand, over to that rather big island closest to New Zealand, and do some stuff here, that would be absolutely awesome. I know people who love this game have been screaming out for some Australian action for quite some time, but this is as close as we'll get in diesel multiple unit or diesel railcar mode. So let's get into the game and let's get into today's scenario. We're actually going to do a scenario for a change. Haven't done it for a while. I've been doing a lot of just point-to-point running. In this scenario today, we will be in charge of a Class 172 Turbo Star on a full-length westbound run between Barking and Gospel Oak. This will be a straightforward run today. When you're ready to depart, please let passengers board. I hate it when they say it's going to be a straightforward run, or you're going to have a quiet day or whatever, because who knows? Expect the unexpected. So we'll let our passengers on and off. We'll have a look. We'll get our lights on. We'll have a look at our train. So here is our two-car diesel railcar unit heading to Gospel Oak, London Overground. I have ridden on London Overground, not necessarily the diesel version thereof. We'll get out of emergency brake. We'll put the reverser into forward. We'll wait. Wait for confirmation that the doors are closed. There we go. A little bit of horn, and we'll be off in a moment. Just a little bit of power. I've never driven a diesel train in my life, quite looking forward to it. And we'll see how we go on this scenario. No pressure because I'm on camera or anything like that. But I just thought that bring the camera in across Simulated Erk and capture some moments that are going on. So 25 mile an hour speed limit. Just a couple of notches of power at this stage. Our next station is Woodgrange Park in about a mile and a half. So haven't done a lot of stop-start on Train Simulator lately. It's been a lot of point-to-point. We'll just bring the power down a little bit. Not too much. We are starting to go uphill. Warning of a clear signal ahead. So just starting to lose a little bit of speed. Just a little bit more power. I don't want much power. I haven't got a huge speed limit to work with at this stage. Route indicator set for the coming up to Barking Junction. Now, while I do have the benefit of that little map underneath me, or underneath the controls, it's no substitute for actual road knowledge and actually knowing where things are, and you know, braking points, powering points, and all of that sort of stuff, and you know, when you can expect to see the stations, that sort of thing. So we'll just cruise through these points at the moment. 25 miles an hour still. Just letting the train roll through the crossover. Next station coming up in about a mile time. We've got a 45 mile an hour speed limit now, so we can increase the speed a little bit. We do have the platform coming up in just under a mile. In many areas it can be said that diesel isn't necessarily the best type of train to have on this short stop-start. But it's often the case that there's not necessarily a lot of passengers on this route, and you might want to extend away from the wires. So we'll bring the power down. Station coming up. Should be able to see the station in a moment. Power, brake, controller combined, as is common on a lot of more modern trains. Station's starting to come up. Station's starting to come up now. Now I did stop at this station a little bit earlier, just had a test run for a couple of stations a little bit earlier. We'll bring off the power now. Station in sight. Just a little bit of brake, just bringing some brake on. I don't want to hit the platform too hard. Only got a short train, but then again we've only got short platforms. See, a lot of these platforms been overgrown. Coming in a little bit soft, but that's okay. Not exactly. A little bit more power, but not much. Got a colleague coming in the opposite direction. Bit of a wave, and we'll open our doors and we'll have a look outside. So we've come nicely onto the platform there. First set of doors right near the stairs, which is always good from a passenger point of view. It wasn't too bad of a stop actually. Wait for the confirmation. There we go. We've got the confirmation that the doors are closed. Coming up the speed, brakes coming off, brakes taking their time to come off, and power applying, RPM building. Actually, I did that in a real life simulator once. So I was in a real life simulator, a train came in the opposite direction, and so I did what I'd normally do and waved to the other train coming in the other direction, and some people had a bit of a laugh at that. So just about in a 45 zone now, just got to wait for the whole train to enter the 45 zone. not too hard when you're a 2-car diesel. So a little bit more speed going up the hill. Wanstead Park is our next stop on my little test run. A little bit earlier. I stuffed up basically, to be quite frank. And I realised, I don't know if you could hear some buzzing in the background. That was actually my Xbox controller reacting and deciding that it wanted to go into vibrate mode. Must remember to turn that off. So going over a viaduct now into a 40 zone. I haven't hit 40 yet, so that's fine. Just because there's a speed bump there with a limit on it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll actually hit it. Or that you should hit it. Coming up now, so we'll just drop our speed. No, we certainly weren't under the wires that long. Starting to get a visual on the station now. I need to apply some brake, and this is where I stuffed up before. I didn't brake that easily. Task failed. You can head over to the academy and get great tips on stopping at stations and picking up passengers. I just braked too late. That's all I did. I braked too late, and quite simply that was it. So if we have a look now, I thought it was going to take me back to the main menu. There's the front of our train. If I have a look at the back of our train, there's the back of our train. It's a rather short train, as you can see. I'll go into a free view mode. There's the platform. There's the train, and as you can see, I am not alongside it. So we'll get back in the cab, and we failed the scenario. Oh, career mode! I failed the scenario. At least I can continue the scenario. Another meeting with my simulated shift manager and simulated HR. Remember when I had to go and see HR playing Train Sim World? So we're at a Atlantic Terminal. I'm assigned the 1228 to West Hempstead, which looks like it is arriving now. Engineering work at Locomotive means this service is only running as far as Jamaica. Okay, so we have to walk. We have to walk towards the other end of the train. Okay, so we'll get into our cab. We'll close that door. Oh, hello, what are you doing there? Sit in engineer seat. She's already sitting in the engineer seat. Sit in the engineer seat of the train. You are sitting in the engineer's seat. Am I sitting on the wrong train? Let's see what happens. No, it's not going to let me sit in the engineer's seat. What is going on? I'm the engineer. What's going on? Hello. It told me to go this way now. Hang on. What? Am I even on the wrong train? I could be on the wrong train. Hello, baby girl. Hello. Hi, baby girl. Oh, you're a good baby girl. Look at you. Yes, baby girl. Hello. This is Erkcam for the very first time. Hello, Meow. Meow, the camera's behind you. There we go. There we go. That's a good Meow. You gonna disappear now, are you? Yep, there we go. There's Meow. She's gone. She has gone. Meow has gone. And now we can go back to the game. Oh, look at you, baby girl. It's Meow Meow Cam. What are you eating, baby girl? What are you eating? You got some cat food from the bathroom. You eating some biscuits? I think that's what you're doing, are you, baby girl? Eating some biscuits. Are you alright? Yes, don't press any buttons like you took a screenshot the other day, baby girl. Although that was quite funny. I wish I had Meowcam then, but I didn't, but I do now, and you're disappearing. Okay, bye now. Welcome back to Simulated Erk Gaming, and I did mention a slice of real life that I wanted, and that was certainly a slice of real life. My cat Meow coming to visit me in the studio. Anywho, we've been given permission to continue, so we are going to continue now. Just need to put that rotten stop behind us. One of the things that was doing my head in is that I am used to kilometres per hour. I'm used to the metric system. In the UK, they use miles per hour, and so I am associating what speeds I'd normally hit the platforms at. I'm thinking, oh, track speed's 45. I'm doing 36 kilometres an hour. Narrator, there is a big difference between 36 kilometres an hour and 36 miles an hour. And so, no wonder I went out the other end of the previous station. Leytonstone High Road is our next stop, so we'll bring the power back down now, and actually we'll shut off, we'll just coast for a little bit. Should be coming into interview shortly, so we'll see what happens this time. We need a good stop here to, if anything, just to make me feel a bit better and bring the confidence back, because, you know, the last thing you want to do is miss a station, and for a for a professional driver, it's not something that happens often, but when it does happen, you know, it's, here we go, they're coming in nicely. So we'll unload. That was much better. Now, timetable, as far as I'm concerned, is out the window, because of course we had that delay due to failing to stop at that previous station. Waiting for the doors to close. They'll close shortly, and we'll jump back in the cab in a moment. There we go, doors are closing. We'll wait for confirmation. We've got a time winner's bonus. How did we manage that? A little bit of horn. How did I get a time winner's bonus and not a time winner's penalty? Leyton Midland Road is our next stop. Just under a mile. Stations close together. I believe, but I'm not 100% confident, and I probably will forget to look this up, that this section may even be electrified now in real life. I'm not 100% sure. So we'll just continue in 5 knots. Leighton Midland Road's not that far away. Bring back the power big time. And we'll start the braking station. Got a visual on the station now. Speed coming down nicely. Doors, nicely done. Inside. And this is probably as close as you'll get to Australian diesel railcar operations. See, I got a timeliness penalty there, but I got a bonus the station before. Go figure. Confirmation doors are closed. Walthamstow Queens Road is our next stop. You know, it's not Victoria Street or High Street, but just over a mile on this occasion in between the two stations. That's a interesting way of running with all these elevated railways. It's sometimes hard because there's so many buildings around. Sometimes keeping focused and seeing which one is the actual station, especially if you're just starting on the route. Starting to see the station up ahead. But then again, as I keep on saying, in the real world you'd also have landmarks and everything that you'd use for your powering and braking and whatnot. So we're starting to get close to the station now, so I'll bring back the power. I have to say, I'm actually quite enjoying the train race. It's actually sounding good. The station coming up now, so I'm enjoying the diesel sound on this train as we're coming in nicely. Confirmation clear signal ahead. Ease up the brakes a little bit. I'm not exactly sure where, if that S marker applies to us or not. some nice little stations. Come on, mate. There's the yellow line there for a reason. Oh, he jumps on. Cool. Okay, a little bit of horn. That's another thing, talking about Australian content for this game. There's been other games, and I think back to Grand Theft Auto and LSPDFR and that sort of thing, where people have modified the game to make things look, for instance, more Australian. Haven't really seen that in Train Simulator, where people would make other skins. And this would be actually, if I knew how to do it in this game, I know how to do it for like Grand Theft Auto, for instance. If I knew how to do it and had the Photoshop skills to give this train a new look of paint, I reckon it'd be pretty good. Couldn't believe the other day I was looking around Just Trains, and I couldn't believe that I actually found a diesel railcar set from Auckland in New Zealand, of all places. I couldn't believe that. Black Horse Road is our next stop. I couldn't believe it. Many years ago, when Auckland had their whole diesel system, which wasn't that far into the past, many years ago, they actually imported diesel rail cars from Perth and Perth electrified their system, and so the old diesel rail cars went to Perth. I think they've had some cars from Queensland as well. I know they've had locos that they've also brought in from Tasmania for Auckland. So I was rather surprised to find that I'll be downloading it soon and giving it a spin. To have something even from New Zealand, even though there's like no New Zealand route that you can play it on, you could play it on this sort of route and it would be semi-authentic. It'd be semi-authentic, and that'd be sweet. That'd be sweet, I think. So I got 3 notches of brake, it seems, and then emergency, which seems a bit weird. So that'd be great. Looking forward to playing that. There'll be some more London Underground content coming up on both Train Simulator and Train Sim World. Now, it turns out that I already have a copy of what's being released via Steam and also via the Train Simulator website, the Metropolitan line and the S-Stock for London Underground. Did I get the... Oh, then I got it. I was waiting for the doors to close. Wasn't sure if they were going to close, and so I reopened the doors, and then I got the indicator that they were closed, so I just reopened them again and hopefully close them again in a second. Hopefully they'll close again in a second and everything will be sweet. So directly via Train Simulator and Steam, you'll be able to purchase the Metropolitan line and the modern S-Stock for London Underground. Now it turns out that I actually purchased that line and that rolling stock last year on Just Trains, and there has been an episode where I have actually used them, but because I've got a new hard drive that I'm storing all my games on, I had to re-download it and reinstall it. So looking forward to playing that again. And on Train Sim World, we saw a preview, a promo from Train Sim World earlier on in the episode. Coming up soon, you'll be able to see the Bakerloo line from the London Underground. South Tottenham is our next stop. So you'll be able to see the Bakerloo line in full on Train Sim World. And so the interesting thing about that is that once Train Sim World comes out with the Bakerloo line, and once Steam and Train Simulator release the Metropolitan line, that means that there'll be 3 London Underground lines that you'll be able to play on Train Simulator and or Train Simulator World, or Train Sim World. Another train coming in my direction. Bit of a wave. Hey mate, how you doing? Uh-oh, 20 mile, uh-oh, that's not good. Wasn't paying attention. Too busy waving at the other train. Then again, I wasn't looking at the gauge down the bottom either, the map down the bottom. So what it will mean, basically by the end of August 2020, you will be able to drive trains on Train Sim World on the Bakerloo line. I'm just coming a little bit too slow for South Tottenham. We're back in a 45 zone. So you'll be able to play natively the Metropolitan line and S-Stop, and then via some downloads and putting it into the game yourself, you'll also be able to play parts of the District line and some older rolling stock from London Underground as well. So until about a year ago, you weren't able to do any London Underground stuff. London Overground you could. A lot of the other companies in the UK you could, but not London Underground. So I'm looking forward to Train Sim World coming out and being able to play the Bakerloo line in full. I've been a little bit more patient with Train Sim World than I have been in the past. Okay, we need to start braking shortly for South Tottenham. So I've been a little bit more patient with Train Sim World. So it's a big. I've only got 1 notch of brake left in emergency. Coming up nicely though. Got that little bit of room. To play with before the front door. Is perfectly illustrated there. Oh, it's door release, so nobody's opened the doors on that front bit. So, it's just a matter of lining things up. So that's huge for London Underground fans for train simulators. For either Train Sim World or Train Simulator. Admittedly, it's not cheap. Just waiting for the doors to close. Haringway Green Lanes is our next stop. Once we get that confirmation of the doors being closed, which did take a while at the last station. I certainly haven't heard it. So I'm certainly not going to leave with the doors open, and I shouldn't actually be able to leave with the doors open like that. There we go. And of course in the real world you just can't get out of the train, stand on a pole and have a look. Would be nice. As good as CCTV might be, to be looking at it at an angle like that would be good. Just to be able to go, hey, I haven't heard the beep. Let's have a look at the other end. This is the other end of the train. Doors look to be closed, but again, I haven't heard the confirmation. Let's look at at the back end. Now, I'm mainly doing this for entertainment purposes. So we'll have a look and see what happens on this occasion. Because I've already stopped at the station once, there's no actual indicator that comes up on the screen to say how long before the doors will actually close. Okay, so the doors are closed. You hear that. You hear the door closing chimes. Now I don't know the. So just looking at the cab, it's not. I haven't really looked at the cab yet. Might drive in this view for a little bit. Let's see what it says over here. Door closed interlock. So we'll go door release. I'm just trying this just for entertainment purposes, basically. Let's see. Says I've got door closed interlock. There's door power as opposed to max power. Door interlock lost. I don't know how these buttons I can actually press. It says that the doors are closed. What I might do, I might open them again. So they're open. So we'll have a look now in the cab. That light should go out. The doors closed at the back end, yes they are. So hypothetically, this is hypothetically, entertainment only, disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. Now I would have thought, even though the doors on the back were open and the front wasn't, that I would still because that light's still on. I don't know, is that light supposed to be on? Let's have a look at the next station. Let's drive like this for a minute. Because it is a different view. To be honest, I should probably drive like this a bit more often. You know, this could be the sitting down view compared to the standing up view. Haringway Green Lanes is our next stop. Back to power, it's only a 30 zone. And I do have to keep on reminding myself that that's 30 miles an hour, not 30 kilometres an hour. There is a difference. So we'll just cruise in. Signal up ahead. Give it a little bit more speed, but not much. The station is just around the corner. take the power off and then we'll start to brake. Coming in nicely, just one notch of brake. Probably a bit slow. Almost at the car marker, just a little bit more, just bring it forward just that little bit more. I presume we're all supposed to stop at that S car marker. Alright. Doors open. Now let's have a look at this light. Okay, the light's gone out. The light's gone out, so maybe that's what needs to happen. And there's also one in front of us as well. So when the light goes out, the doors are open. Which is the reverse for how I'm used to operating things. Okay, that's better. We got the warning that time. Much better. Crouch hill next. Waiting for the brakes to come off. Probably a bit too much. 5 knots straight out. Crouch on next, just under a mile. Some of the cabs don't really have a good amount of detail I've found to drive like this, but this cab seems to be alright. Coming up the speed limit shortly. This bridge is probably a great landmark. Just rolling in nicely. Got a bit of a visual on the station now. Oh no, hang on, no, it's a tunnel. The station's past the tunnel. So looking at the map down below, but not far past it. Just under half a mile to go. Little bit of horn for the tunnel. Bit of horn out of the tunnel. Station coming up now, so we'll get some brake. Now there's another train coming. Now obviously I'm going to be paying more attention to the stop. I'll come in a bit soft. Now if it's safe to do so, give the bloke a wave. Helps when you only got one control, when you got one, you only need one hand for the controller. That certainly helps. That would have been impossible on a two-handle, well not impossible, but close enough to impossible. Cross below next. No. That was Crouch Hill. Yeah, I'm a little late. How's our... Ah, there we go. We got it. All good. Let's go. Upper hallway next. Waiting for brakes to come off. The gauge is actually doing quite a good job of telling me if the brakes are on or off. Up the whole way, just over half a mile. So if I can wave to someone coming the other way, I will. You know, if it's not safe to do so, I won't. I don't care who it is. If it's a freight train, if it's one of my colleagues, or if it's you know, track machine or whatever, I don't care, I'll wave. Might be a little kid on a bridge. Okay, station's coming up. I thought that was. That's better than some of the platforms. This might have been a disused. This might have been an old station that they've closed down. They might have actually moved up a whole way. I don't know, but that's what it looked like. I thought, hang on, the station's coming up rather soon. What I've noticed lately is that I've noticed a lot of parents bringing their kids to train stations to watch and wave at trains. Which, as long as it's done safely, I've got no drama with that. I actually quite like it when the kids are, you know, waving at trains, and you know, sometimes I don't know who's more excited, the parents, the kids, or me. To start braking, too distracted talking about waving at kids. Brake too late. Yes, I know. Okay, let's keep going. There's no point in only got a two car train, and I knew that I was not going to have any of the trains stopped, and this isn't good. Gospel Lake, our destination, is coming up. I'd also just remembered that I selected to do the whole scenario in one hit, which isn't bad. Also goes to show how easy it is to lose focus. So we're going on to Gospel Oak Platform 3, 40 zone coming up, which I'm under. 20 zone coming up, and then a 15 coming into Gospel Oak where we'll terminate. So we'll just come in nice and slow, we'll just coast at the moment. No need to get all that diesel sound under the bridge. Or is it a tunnel? Okay, 20 zone coming up. Yellow signal coming up, hence the audible warning there. Going on to platform 3. We've dropped down nicely for the 20. So we're coming into B, which I presume is like a back platform. 15 coming up shortly. shunting signal coming up doesn't apply for us. 15 coming up, a little bit of brakes on. Here's our 15 board. And just rolling in nice and easily for our final stop. Well, okay, there's only one platform for this state. There's probably another section of Gospel Oak Station somewhere else. Okay, so we've got our little car marker. Oh, yeah, there's another platform. Another platform down there, that's fine. We'll open our doors. Oh, there's our 3 platforms. And we have arrived. Didn't have the best trip. Couple of stations that we didn't actually stop at. But overall, I've got to say that I really enjoyed that. That was fun. It was realistic. It's what I could expect to drive. Yeah, scenario failed. Yes, I'm well aware of that. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Anywho, I've been Simulated Erk, you've been awesome, and I will see you later on. Bye for now, and hang on. Waving. I haven't quite got this camera thing worked out yet, have I? See you later. Bye now. Thanks for watching.